Morning, everyone. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professional Free webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this wonderful morning. My lovely audience, today I am your host. My name is Siyani Akhtar. I am from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored to host this webinar. It's my delight to welcome you all our Institution of Global Professional Free webinar. Thank you all for joining us today in this marvelous morning. And it's my humble request to you, all of you, and stay with us till the end. And don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends. So let's together and learn together. Today our webinar topic is digital pedagogy. Uh, our speaker, our speaker name is Sir Dr. Shobik Ganguly. He is from India. He is an assistant professor from Department of Electric and Instrumentation Engineering, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology. Let's invite our speaker. Hello, sir.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you can share your presentation.
Okay. It visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Oh, fine. Let me proceed. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you are attending this particular session on digital pedagogy. So far, we had been talking about pedagogy, pedagogical skills, how do you move upon your curriculum. But with COVID, everything has changed all of a sudden, and we are moving ahead for some interference with respect to uh, cyber systems and or we can call it as cybergogy as well. So the responsibility on both parts, be from the point of view of teachers, be from the point of view of the students, the responsibility lies more on them. And there are, of course, certain advantages and certain disadvantages as well. Let me proceed with some of the techniques today and some of the associations that we have already, and we have been using them in our e-learning techniques as well. So first of all, let me give you a brief about me and where I'm from and what I'm doing here, and then we'll go through the slides, take up the agenda of today's discussion, and we will move on into topic wise. So myself, Dr. Shobik Ganguly, I'm an assistant professor serving in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering in Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology that is situated in the northern part of India. And regarding my background, I have done my BTech in electrical engineering, my MTech is in mechatronics, and I work in the area of system identification and control. That's my area of PhD as well. I have a teaching experience of around 16 years by this time, and prior to that, I had been in the industries for almost 2 years. Mostly, I work in the areas of control system, IoT and its applications, in the areas of optimization as well as renewable energy applications. Regarding my research experience, we have around 29 students who have completed masters under my supervision. One has been awarded with PhD, and two of them are undergoing PhD under my supervision. Regarding my publications, you can find it over here. So many good top journals publications, almost 18 of them. Apart from that, it goes Scopus Index journals and conferences. I have 20 listings, and apart from that, I have around 33 conference presented papers. Book chapters are 43 in number. I have national and international patents which are awarded already, and 10 of them are already being filed. I have a copyright working on the area of biomedical and I think we try to empower telemedicine in particular rural areas in India. These are my research index, Google Scholar Citations, H index, and I10 index. So with this, I'll not discuss much about me, and let me get into the course, get into the uh, program, and what we are going to discuss today. That's how we are startup and why we are into digital pedagogy that we will come across, because we have for the last 2.5 years, we have almost shifted from the offline mode of teaching to the online mode of teaching, and what are the practices that we are. I'll mainly share my experiences, my practices, and of course, it will be an interactive discussion at the end where you can put your questions and discuss with me the different pedagogical skills. There may be some already some teachers sitting at the participant zone, so of course we are expecting some interesting questions and some good knowledgeable participants at my background. So first of all, we'll talk about what is the difference between offline and online. What is the advantage of accessing your online materials? So there is no bar now for getting your degrees at any part of the world, wherever you are. And we will discuss about the digital literacy pyramid. We will mainly talk about Bloom's taxonomy and how will you adapt to the Bloom's taxonomy with respect to some assignments, some quizzes, some assessments related to that. We will also make use of the use of technology and how they are working upon. And here I'll talk about recently filed a patent of ours working on the area of digital learning and entrepreneurship dictionary, which we are proposing right now. This is how we'll go about it. Uh, let's see what we have. Yeah. So first of all, our teaching mode has been totally, completely changed with the onset of COVID and all those things, and we can take it as a blessing at certain point of time, shifting from the offline mode of teaching or the blackboard way of teaching to the online learning, where we are getting used to the different devices like laptops or desktops or even mobiles. So people are learning at a very fast rate with the use of Facebook, with the use of YouTube. IGP has provided a very good platform working for tirelessly for the last 2.5 years, and we are expecting some great sessions ahead also. So this is how we move about it. That how education system, how your learning has been shifted from the offline mode to the online mode, and we are experiencing. It's very convenient for you to read any material, any topic, any resource from an internet material, or for example, YouTube, Facebook, whatever internet materials, lecture notes are of course available. We have a learning management system software being used to for the students to access the course materials, the PPTs of the course, the videos of the course, and I think that it's fine. So this is how the entire system of study, the environment of the study has completely changed over a period of time, right? We have been using this particular mode of teaching where initially some teachers, even us also struggled to shift completely from the offline mode. So it was a tremendous task to move directly from the offline mode of teaching or the blackboard mode of teaching or the PPT mode of teaching directly into the online mode, where we are not experiencing any student response. Students, we complained several times that students are not responding, students are not listening, but it is also equally admittable that from the point of view of the students as well, that they are attending classes from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. So they are also getting bored by the teaching methodology that we have been adopting. So of course, changes have come up. People have adapted new methodology. People have been using new methods of teaching, make the things attractive for the students, make the assignments interesting and challenging for the students, quizzes being held, Some academic malpractices have taken place. People have started copying from the internet materials, so questions were made a little bit difficult. These sort of things keep on changing, and it's of course, when we are changing anything, it's always for the betterment. So this is how you have to enjoy the digital pedagogy and the digital learning environment, where we can study through our laptops, we can study through our mobile or tablets, whatever electronic devices that you are using. And there should be a fun activity, there should be some activities in between, there should be pauses in between, there should be interaction between, so that you get to know the things, you apply your knowledge, apply your skills. Some learning materials are being provided, definitely being provided beforehand, so that you come to the online lecture with some prior preparation, with some questions in mind, and uh, let us share those things in the online platform. We had been using Zoom. They had been when I had and share my personal experience. I had a problem with my Indian examiner who was supposed to visit to the campus, and he was not able to do that. And there was a convocation which was due at that particular time. At that particular time, we had a Skype presentation for me. So it was altogether a new platform. So people long back in 2019 were talking about Skype as the mode of presentation. We have plenty of tools available these days. We have Zoom platform, official platform for our institute, as well as we had been using WebEx platform, we had been using GoToWebinar platform, several platforms that we had been attending some programs as well. So these have become a part. You have been attending it through Facebook Live. So this is the way of today's teaching, or today's certification programs, or today's learning skills that you are acquiring. So this is the way to move forward. Let's take it as a positive, on a positive note, and move ahead with some beautiful mode of learning. So these are some of the platforms which are available. We have NPTEL and MOOC being available. GAN courses are also available online, and several Institute of Technologies have been developed. They have been working tirelessly for the last 10 to 20 years down the line, and they had been able to develop or generate certain quality lecture videos, and those have been very much popular and amongst the engineering graduates out here in India. So we have every country has its own online, or every university has its own online platform to basically provide some certification course, some online mode of teaching, some programs which are very successful online. But of course, when we talk about engineering, which involves some laboratory sessions, of course, we cannot have 100% online sessions for the certification programs or for the degree programs. So these are some of the online platforms which are being available, which are in operation. So the basic thing that we wanted to talk today is that today's certifications, or today's online lectures, or faculty development programs, everything that are taking place, conferences in also taking place in hybrid mode. So you are sitting at your own place, you are having your own pace at which you can learn, and of course you can learn at any point of time. Say for example, we had been attending so many webinars during the COVID times. We had been following it up, and we have pipelining of activities which mostly are taking place in the United States or Europe, maybe in the late evening. And after that, we go back from our offices. We attend those programs in the evening time. It's a 1 hour session, it's a 1.5 hour sessions that we had been attending regularly. So this is it is comfortable that you sit at your own place. You learn at your own pace and, of course, at your own time, the time you spend. This is how it goes about. This will facilitate the digital learning or the learning environment of the students. So this is how we go about it, or we are going about it post-COVID era as well. So these are some of the skills that, first of all, you need to have when we are talking about some digital literacy development or some pyramid with respect to the curriculum context. So there are four layers basically. First of all, the first layer is a basic layer which we call as the access, whether I have the internet access, right? So this is fundamental. After that, we have the functional skills, whether I can operate, I can share my screen, I can post any video, I can put my assignment through online mode. So functional skills I'll have, right? So after that, the third layer is development of repertoire. So some practices, some situations are given to you, whether I can do it or not, and identify my attributes, right? So first of all, the initial layer is the base layer. The second layer is intensive tasks are being given. So some assignments, some quizzes are being taken, whether you are able to do it or not. Some developing stage, some given some situations, some assignments, some design problems as you may be focusing on. And after that, the fourth layer is your top layer, where extensive open-ended tasks will be provided. So this is how we go about it in a digital pyramid, where the curriculum things will be there. So this is the model we have been adopting, which we talk about. We will talk about what is the difference between an online and an offline class. We will talk about the different devices that we have been engaging. Right now, I'm also delivering from my office through my laptop, right? You may be using your phones, you may be using your tabs, you are using some earphones to hear me, right? So this is how we go about it, and we are able to reach out. So this is how we learn from our class, and this is how we learn digitally, or when we are watching some video, we can pause it in between. We can take down some, note down some points. We can put some figures. We can do some, say for example, I'm an electrical engineer, so of course I'll have dealing with circuits and all those things. Some block diagrams may be there. So I'll hear the audio lectures. I'll uh, come across my doubts. I'll share my doubts with my colleagues, with my students, with my teachers, right? So this is how you go about it. And what we had been doing earlier, this is just the opposite. We have learned through, mostly all of us have learned through the conventional school, that is on time, right? Not where you feel. Can your school come to your place and your teacher will teach you? No, certainly not. So of course, this gives you a flexibility of where you can learn, or where we can do some certification programs sitting online. Over here, we have been interacting with some of the UG students, undergraduate students in our institute. They have been doing some courses online as well, parallel to their curriculum. They have been attending courses on Coursera. They had been attending courses on different other online platforms, and several IITs in India have opened up online certification programs based on the need of the hour. That is artificial intelligence, data science, all those stuffs, cybersecurity. So they are doing some certification programs as well that will help them, or that will aid them in their placements as well. So this is how the things are going about. So it's not that you have to be regular on schools or regular on colleges. You can learn online. But of course, engineering studies cannot be all studied online. So there will be some confrontations with respect to some laboratory sessions, or IIT Bombay, I think they have been able to develop some virtual classroom or virtual labs for the smooth conduct during the COVID times. So of course those platforms can also be utilized for the online delivery of any laboratory sessions as well. But better to it should have a hands-on experience rather than learning it virtually. So accepting that, we can understand any process, any principle, any engineering problem or non-engineering problem. If you are from the humanities background, you can understand your problem, your thesis, or your anything that you want to learn, that can be done through some online courses. Last week or last to last week, perhaps I have attended a program revisiting of the graduate attributes in an engineering program, and that was held in Singapore Institute of Technology. See what has happened. We have been able to access such beautiful lectures or some quality delivery work, sitting at my home, sitting at my comfortable place and comfortable time. So this is how it goes about. So of course, this is referred to as the standard inverted class model that we was talking about. That we are doing any online videos. We are studying from a video. We are studying from hearing the audio lectures, noting down the points, important points, noting down some concepts, practicing them as well, and you can in between you can pause them, listen to it, and then of course you can get it. So this is how. So this is one part. This is a part related to learning, and later on we come to the assessments as well. So what is your home doing? This is instructors. They are assigning you some lecture videos. We also do it to our students. Last week we had a break of 7 days, so we also sent them some lecture videos for them to go through it once, read them. Although they are going it offline, they are also reading it related to the day's lecture, and they are coming up with their doubts. So three people have come yesterday for raising their doubts. They have understood something. They have not followed some lectures of mine. They discussed with me in person. So this is how you need to develop yourself. So of course, class time is definitely then devoted for your discussion session, some debating session, some exploration of the subject. So definitely the higher order thinking skills will be gradually be developed. So if you are utilizing, if your teacher utilizes some, send some notes, some lecture notes, some lecture videos for you to read, some authentic materials from the internet to read. Of course, if you are reading them, uh, then your class becomes very much enjoyable. So you can attend the class, attend some discussions, attend some debates that are going on, and you will be at a place to explore the subject more and more, and you'll be mastering that particular subject as well. So, when we talk about video demonstration, when we are doing some practical, when we are going through some video through virtual labs or some lecture videos that you had been attending, you can rewatch, rewind, observe, and then you can clarify your doubts through your teachers in the discussion sessions in the class, be it in the online mode or in the offline mode as well. So this is how your demonstration focused inverted classroom model works. So these are some of the experiences which we are having. We are already having some platform where the previous lecture videos are being loaded to the students. They can get a feel of the subject. They can go through the different learning materials that are available. Some lab demonstrations are also available during the COVID era. So they can access all those notes. We have a software called Hadoop, which the students have been accessing to get hold of some ebooks, get hold of some reference materials, get hold of some assignments or quizzes or previous practice questions, likewise. So this is how it goes about. So likewise we can uh, develop in your institute, in your program, in your certification course. You can develop similar models and establish your own digital pedagogy. So what that is the reality of today. So no one after the COVID era wants to attend classes offline. They always require, they have the urge to access certain learning videos, certain learning tools, certain learning materials, certain assignments, certain practice problems. So this is how, for their development, for their own benefit, they are aligning, and gradually in the process they are learning the higher order thinking skills they are able to develop. And we are having some classes in which they are discussing with us. Say, for example, I have taught a particular topic through my online lecture, and those few students could not follow. They are regularly asking me, discussing with me beyond class hours as well, and we are sharing some useful information. We are exchanging some very useful information. So this is how your digital pedagogy has started working. ICT in education is not a very popular term in India previously. So gradually, our government is also focusing on projects or research on ICT in education, and they have been establishing some ICT sections, or rather in some national institutes, they have been establishing some incubation center with the urge for developing the ICT part or role of ICT in education. So this particular part is not very developed, and we are having some research projects, thrust areas of the government, in which projects will be funded so that some development work take place for the learning new learning methodology or new pedagogical skills that we need to develop, new curriculum design for pertaining to this digital way of learning the things. And they have been able to establish the platform of some also for the also for your disabled children, or who are economically backward, where there is no internet access in our country. Those rural areas needs to be addressed with some project, with some research, with some funding. So this is how things will go about it, and things will be developed certainly in the coming years. So, what is this particular model talking about? We are talking about some watching some lecture videos in the class, and then allowing them to review these materials at their own pace. And of course, the teacher must individually provide support to each of the learners' needs accordingly. So this is how we can go about it. We can go in the classroom, share the learning materials, ask them to read those materials, ask them to go through the PPTs and the necessary videos. They can learn at their own pace, because every learner has its own pace. So his or her own pace in which he learns, right? So every learner has a different strategy to learn, right? So that is absolutely individualistic. So of course, teachers, they should offer some individual attention to each of the students, so that the students are not out of track. Sometimes uh, not understanding the lecture properly, or not understanding, or not able to follow from the video, or not able to get the demonstration right, or something of that sort. So those things will be definitely being sorted out by the students, by the teachers. So there are several models which have come up which in the recent times, as well as those are in already in practice. So lecture videos and resources being shared before class. This is what we talk about group-based inverted classroom model. So this is another interesting aspect where the students they are allowed to team up. We call it think, pair, and share. So these type of things will be more and more popular, more and more common, and this will help the young learners to access or some brainstorming sessions, some resources. If you are sending it prior to the class, of course, they will go through the materials, they will develop some concepts, they will come to the class, and after that, you give them some assignments, gives them some discussion topic. They will come up with really brilliant answers. Apart from that, we have the virtual mode, where you are seeing over here the virtual mode in the online mode, that you are exchanging your views with your teacher. You are getting not from the textbooks. And today, it's really challenging for also a teacher to teach in a class, because every time you utter a word, that is being noted down, and that is being searched in the internet. So this was wrong. So, of course, the teacher has an equal responsibility to search the internet materials and find out the authentic research materials or authentic learning materials for the student as well, so that they are not lost in midway, right? So, of course, online has given me a very good platform to teach, to provide some good learning materials, but at the same time, the teacher must also ensure that the appropriate learning materials are being used, the appropriate ebooks are being used by the students in the learning environment. So these are some of the things that we thought that we should discuss regarding how do you analyze, how do you develop the content, what are the different modular elements that we'll have, what will be the e-modules, what will be my lesson plan, how will I strategize my instruction, how will I plan for certain quizzes, certain assignments, certain modules, implementation on the transaction phase where we can get some platform for transaction where we can discuss some strategies for transaction, and final phase is your evaluation or the assessment phase. So this is how we talk about. So selection of content, preparation of content, I should say, are the most important part. What should be the modules in which I'll break up? What should be my development or the pace at which we will deliver? Some materials will be through e-modules or e-videos. Some there will be lesson plan will be provided at the beginning of the semester, just as we do. That these are the 35 to 40 lectures we'll get to cover this course. These are my particular plans in which we move. Say, for example, between start and mid semester exams, we have to cover so and so, and after that we can go in for the rest of the course in equal pace. So this is how we go about it. But of course, when it comes to preparation of digital content, and of course there are few subjects which may be critical as well. Content is equally important, not only the model that you are going to adapt, but also the content which you are taking, and what should be the modular elements with which we will go about it. So this is how we'll operate. We may give some e-text, we may give some presentations, we may give some reference materials, and in the class, of course, we can deliver through some discussion sessions, through some chats, through some quizzes, through some debate. If it's your subject is on humanities or something of that sort, maybe you can pick up some point for your group discussion as well, so that every student can perform, every student can point out they've delivered or share their points, they can discuss, and they can think, pair, and share, and they can come up with some brilliant answers and brilliant ideas as well. So this is how we operate. That how to what depth that you must go in. Say, for example, you are doing unit 1 of the course, that is the starting of the course. We spend more time on the starting part of the course for all the concepts. Say, for example, we share the learning videos every time. We share their learning videos every time, and after that we come across different discussions, we come across some quizzes in between, we give them some assignments in between. Gradually it is a development phase, and we'll talk about Bloom's taxonomy a little later, and where we will talk about how do we check a student's remembering skills or analyzing skills or creativity of the students, or whether the students are able to make a good project, a technical project, and justifying all the standards that they have followed in that particular project, and how to report that particular project as well. So this is what we call as digital pedagogy, where we'll have the interaction with some technology, with pedagogy, and with respect to the content as well. So this is how we operate, and this is how we talk about digital pedagogy as the intersection of technology, content, and pedagogy. So sometimes we have a nomenclature which we call as cybergogy. So this is the same nomenclature that we have for digital pedagogy. Some call it cyberpedagogy as well, instead of using the term pedagogy over here. So this is how we operate, and we can discuss now the Bloom's taxonomy. It's a very popular taxonomy which we have adapted for developing some higher order thinking skills of the students. So how will I relate this e-learning techniques with Bloom's taxonomy? Let us check out each and every aspect of how will I check it up using. So first of all, let me share with you the Bloom's taxonomy and what are the pyramidal structures. So the lower order skill is at the bottommost, where we can give some questions to the students that whether they are able to remember that, whether they have been able to understand that, apply them, analyze them, evaluate them, as well as create something new, right? So this is what is our learning objective it should be, and how it will I make those things user friendly, as we are seeing over here on my right. uh, the LMS, the learning management system, where we can talk about some content. How will I prepare my content to make the students uh, develop some skills regarding application of some topic, or analyze certain topic, or evaluate, able to evaluate or calculate certain topic, or even make some assessments, or with some design problems they can create some new designs, they can create some new problems, or new uh, they are able to reflect on some creative aspects as well. So that can be tested through quizzes, that can be tested through some assignments, that can be accessed through some discussion sessions, right? So depending upon the mode of the course, or the curriculum that you are designing or you are teaching, of course we are to highlight upon these learning objectives, or these Bloom's taxonomy pyramid will be tested through different quizzing activity, different assessments activities, different content activities, or even we may ask for a project report to be submitted. Last time we had one term paper to be submitted by the students. So students uh, were supposed to read one particular research article based on their content assessments. They are to make certain assessments regarding the same, right? So this is how we go about it, and this is how we talk about it, and help to create, remember, and understand, apply, analyze, and evaluate, as well as develop some creativity in a particular content. So this is how the responsibility now lies with the teacher, that how to evaluate all those skills, and how to create this revised taxonomy, where some remembering part, they will ask some questions on remembering part, some questions on understanding part, some questions on applying some knowledge, or analyzing some knowledge, or evaluating them, or develop some creativity in a student. So of course the responsibility lies with now the teacher, and of course the teacher will check about regarding the content part, how much content that you want to keep with respect to remembering, with respect to the Bloom's taxonomical terminologies that we had been discussing. So this is how I have taken it from a particular source. So of course, this is not exactly the slide which I have prepared. This is taken from the source, and the source is written over here. And that how will you develop your content to make your student understand any concept, or apply certain knowledge that they have acquired. Say, for example, you have been teaching some theorem, and you ask straight away, state and explain the theorem, whether you want your content to be for remembering, whether you want your content for understanding the concepts, whether you want your students to apply certain knowledge, or analyze some topic, and you are able to they are able to evaluate some topic, or get into some discussions to create something new. So this is how you go about it. Of course, you can also test them through some discussions as well. You can test them through some discussions as well. So uh, where these knowledge or these analyzing ability or evaluating ability will be tested. So of course, when we are talking about these sort of uh, content verification or this type of discussions that you need to engage your students with, or you give some assignments to the students, you give some quizzes to the student, what are the knowledges or what are the level of skills that are tested, that will be reflected through the Bloom's taxonomy. So this is how you need to create your content, create your assignments, create your quizzes, create your questions, or assessing or evaluating the things, so that the higher order thinking skills are being evaluated. Quizzes, of course, will evaluate your application oriented skills, whatever you have made you understand, or whatever things that we have discussed, those concepts, whether the students are able to apply those concepts, whether they have understood and apply those concepts, whether they have been able to analyze or calculate something, right? Whether they have been able to evaluate something, right? So of course, you may pose some assignments for you to test the creativity of the student. So, say for example, the student is asked to invent a particular tool, or they are given some role plays. They need to outline certain TV shows. They need to design any poster. They need to make any commercial. They need to have a marketing campaign. They need to develop their own podcast. They may be asked to develop a movie. They may be asked to share a blog, right? To create a blog. They may be asked to do something on related to animation. Okay, they want to if you engage them to write a story on a particular part or share some experiences through a story form. So there are several assignments that you can give, and of course that will test the creativity of the student. So these are some of the outlines that are activities with digital tools that we have. Creating how you can make your creativity operating, how you can evaluate evaluating activity can be tested, how your analyzing abilities can be tested, or how what would you do in applying something or understanding some concepts, or remembering some concepts. So how like take the help of the Bloom's digital taxonomy, which we call it in the digital pedagogy part. We are calling it digital taxonomy, and what we are able to create or evaluate or analyze or apply or even understand. So these are some of the activities. Of course, these are some sample activities that may be categorized under evaluation or analyzing or creative or applying some knowledge or understanding or even the remembering skills. So this is the second part. I'll take a very short break of a minute. I'll have a water break for a minute, and after that I'll get back to you, and I'll talk about the technology, the use of technology in the digital pedagogy scenario. Just excuse me for half a minute or 1 minute so that I can take a water break, and I'll be back. Okay, fine. So this is a new topology for you, augmented reality. Most of your courses, like medical courses and your physiotherapy courses, these courses have been going online for the last 2.5 years almost. But how the teachers have been teaching there, so you can see the use of technology or the use of augmented technology or virtual reality, which we call it. I had been reading a news article on parallel reality as well, which is being implemented in some airport. I don't remember the airport, in some part of Europe, where as you enter the airport, you see your name displayed. You need to see that which counter the airport will welcome you. the airport will welcome you actually. And after that, what we find, that flight number, you need to check out your counters as well, right? So after that, coming to the topic that we had been using, we had been exploring these things for the medical students. Definitely, it is a very helpful way of teaching the medical students, whether they get to see what is happening inside our body, where there is anatomy course being taught over here, and you see that how is the arrangement of the lungs, how is the arrangement of the heart, and all those things, all those stuffs within the body. The human anatomy is being analyzed through the use of augmented reality or virtual reality. So this is another important thing, that how AR can improve your learning performance, your engagement with the students, and your motivation, of course, to learn. So everything that is there in the book that has been reflected through the Human Anatomy Atlas Map app. So this is how we talk about it, we go about it, and we try to understand and try to follow these kind of things in medical students. For the medical students, of course, is absolutely very good way of learning when you are connecting with your with the organs or the anatomy that you are using. And of course, this is another, we are talking about, we had been discussing earlier regarding the airport being welcoming you, helping you to go to a particular counter to access your boarding pass, going to the particular counter in which you will have your security check or the security check get number. Definitely. So, and all interactions with the outside world can also be taking place with the help of virtual reality. So we had been I had been telling you that we had been doing some work regarding this, and we have been able to develop certain things with respect to virtual reality or augmented reality. We had been able to develop a digital dictionary for you. So this is what you are finding in the picture, that we had been able to work on it, and we had been able to develop a model corresponding to digital access to the different words or the meanings or the different dictionaries that they will be able to access. You need to you need not to type, you need to think over it, and you come across the meaning of that word, the synonyms and the antonyms of that particular word, the use of that particular word, and whether it's an adjective or a verb or something of that sort. So basically showing the functioning of a digital dictionary with the help of the virtual reality tool. So it's under process, of course. It's under process. It's being filed as an innovation patent, and of course, it's in the concept part. So of course, we will be thinking about adding some technology to it, and finally materializing it in the form of product, so that it is accessible by the users or the common persons as well. So of course, you can see over here the virtual lab being seen by a person from his camera. So this is another way of understanding that what are the different things that you observe in a plant behavior, or any membranes that you are seeing over here, whatever study or whatever analysis he's making of the plant. So this is how we talk about it, and this is how the virtual reality or the augmented reality has gone about. Over here, the space industry persons, they are exploring, they are experiencing the space like thing. And of course, what advantage you may find over here, it's an increased content understanding. So your learning functions, or your learning language associations, or long-term memory retentions, improving your physical task performance, and all those things, collaborations, student motivation. Of course, it will increase if you get a feel of your exact lab or your exact place at you are in, right? So sitting at your home, you're experiencing a lab, you're experiencing an airport, you're experiencing a space station, likewise. So this is a great feeling for every one of us, and learn quickly, get engaged with the discussion, get motivated to learn, and of course, it will increase your memory retention once you visualize the things. Once you visualize the things, it's very easy for you to remember and retain those things. Of course, artificial intelligence in teaching, they are coming up, of course, with not only due to COVID, but they are also being tutored. We call it intelligent tutoring systems. It's a computer-based system that is being provided for immediate and customized instruction or feedback. So, of course, there has been a development of artificial intelligence over the last 20 25 years, and we are making use of them to develop a robot for teaching us also. Sometimes sometimes an intelligent tutoring system, a computer based system to teach us. So of course these are becoming a part of our knowledge and part of our day-to-day activity as well. So gradually we'll move on, maybe in India or in Bangladesh or in some South Asian countries. It will come a little later, but these things have already been in place in European countries and US as well. Of course, Internet of Things, what not we can do connecting it with the device, we are seeing it over here that our entire electronic devices are being controlled today at your mobile remote, or through the use of a remote. We can control the speed of your fan, we can control the speed of your light, switching on and switching off of your light. Sometimes you come outside your home, you find that you have not switched off your light or switched off your fan. So of course your mobile through which you are connecting itself to operate with that. And of course we are working on IoT and its applications. We have been talking about some potential applications like automatic door buzzer. Somebody knocks at your door and you are able to know that who has come, and all those stuffs have already been people have been working upon, and people have been developing the products too, not in the national but also in the international platforms as well. So use of IoT, Internet of Things, has been tremendous in developing some smart board culture, or taking some attendance of the students. We have been using it for taking the attendance of the students every time they are in a class. Of course, there are other ways, there are softwares available, but at the same time we can make use of the Internet of Things to acquire the attendance of the students as well. So some IoT based sensors are being used. They are of significant safety. So these are becoming an inherent part. Artificial intelligence as well as Internet of Things are becoming an inherent part of our system. So this is another means by virtue of which it is aiding our technology or digital pedagogy as well, which we call as a telecourse or the datacast. It is basically a program of teaching being delivered through the medium of television. We had been using in India. We are coming up every channel, every dish TV operators. They are coming up with certain student apps or teaching based apps, which they are telecasting through their channels as well. I think Airtel have already come up. I think V is also coming up with certain features that are related to mobile apps as well. Byju's is already a well established platform in today's world with respect to school level and as well as college level teaching. So An Academy is another important app that is coming up with some courses related to engineering and medical courses as well. So there are. It's not that I know particular person who had been working online for the last 2.5 years, teaching courses on computer science and teaching courses, preparing students for different competitive exams. competitive exams out here in India, for different government job exams as well as for different competitive exams that are taking place in India. So he had been using this smart board and all those things. His house is full of equipments like that. So he is already delivering through online mode in the last, and he is not relocating to its original place of work in Bangalore no longer. He is staying here in Punjab, and he is operating in Bangalore, and he's delivering through online, making use. He is making use of the smart board features in his television set and delivering it online. So there are several platforms which have come up when we are talking about telecourse or the data cast. It is a medium through which your course segments can be broadcasted or scheduled times for your television stations or your even to the public TV domains, and as well as through the local cable access channels as well. So data casting is another transmitting some text, some graphics, some videos, some audios, and other media files over the airwaves through the digital TV signal. So this is another data course is another platform by virtue of which we can get your materials to be downloaded on a computer or on a television and can be viewed on a television as well. So these are interlinked, of course, at certain point of time. Telecourse and datacast, they are also interlinked at certain point of time that you can undergo, and that you can through which you can deliver and attend your lectures. So audio conference. I had given one telephonic interview long back in 2001. So at that time, I was also hesitating how to give telephonic interviews. How will I get to influence a particular person through my body language skills? So these are becoming audio conferences and video conferencing. We had been sitting in India, and we had been attending programs in Singapore. We had been attending programs in Los Angeles. We had been attending program in some part of Europe, in Croatia as well. So things are going in that particular fashion, that we are attending video and audio conferencings, and where your instructors are getting connected through some standard telephone lines, or for real-time discussions they have been using the internet as well. You are sitting at different parts of the world right now, and you are attending a course or certification on digital pedagogy over here. So of course, through the use of video conferencing, through the use of different softwares, we had been talking about Zoom, which has become very popular these days. But apart from Zoom, we have StreamYard. We have been telecasting through a WebEx platform. We had been using uh, go to webinar platforms. These platforms we had been frequently being using to deliver as well as to learn from different platforms as well. So this is how the things are going about, and we are trying to get accustomed to the different online platforms, and this is the way of the new learning that is taking place even to us as well. Wave conferencing, we are hearing everything on wave conferencing. Every conference that those are organized in India are in hybrid mode now. We have an offline mode and we have an online mode. So those who are not able to attend through the offline mode, of course, they are not benefited of their interaction with some researchers, with some top researchers in the world. Those are visiting the conferences, but they may be accessing them through online mode. They may be delivering through their online mode. Of course, if I am reluctant to relocate from northern part of India to the southern part of India for a particular conference, which is taking place at a very remote location, I may be delivering my presentation through the online mode. So this is given a very good scope. And of course, for the software firms, this has become excellent. They have stopped, all offices have been stopping this particular uh, move of traveling from one place to other. Traveling has totally stopped, and people have understood the benefit of using the web conferencing mode, through which they have been browsing the visuals and audio conferences for any discussions, as well as students and instructors can communicate with each other. I delivered a particular talk on optimization or something of that sort, and where we exchanged views with some students sitting at uh, Nanyang University of Technology, that is NTU. So something of that sort. So there definitely people are from different parts of the world and from different parts of the corners of the world. They have been able to interact. They have been able to get through knowledge, and they have been able to get through some new learning techniques or something of that sort through the different video conferencing and the web conferencing as well. Conference, of course, in India, they are taking place both in offline and as well as online mode after post-COVID. Even if we are not having COVID so serious issue, so serious an issue, so, but still it is going in the hybrid mode, and we have online and offline mode. Even I'll be attending some conferences, maybe that I will choose if I do not get some funding for traveling. Of course, we can choose the online mode for attending any conference or presenting in a particular conference as well. So this is how webcasts, podcasts, these features are becoming very popular these days. And with the advent of COVID, it has given a blessing that we had been able to capture, record videos, slides, other types of digital data, and synchronize it into a single streamed media presentation. So of course, I think a PowerPoint presentation has on its own some features that will help us to record our audio and play it in the form of a video. So we can convert your PowerPoint presentation. It is in a audio video fashion. So of course the slides will go. You'll start explaining, and you can merge it in the form of video, export it in the form of video. So you don't need to acquire very good technical skills to do these things. We can easily do it, and things are available online for your support and all those things. So of course webcast is of course a technology that will capture your audio, video, as well as slides and other types. There are several other softwares, as I know. I think Adobe is another where we can do similar such things, where we can synchronize the thing, streamline the thing, increase the voice quality, and all those features are available in a particular software to do that as well. Now, another important aspect that we need to focus on in today's world. We cannot come out of your smartphones, we cannot come out of your internet technologies that are being used. So, of course, it will create some social media engagement or social media. We can, even in fact, at this point of time, you are learning something from a delivery through online mode or through some Facebook link or through some YouTube link as well. So of course, the Facebook from you study from your Facebook, you study from something from your some blog, some Wikipedia knowledge that you have, some information you may collect it from LinkedIn or Telegram is another important media through which you can socialize, you can get certain content of videos or some learning platforms. Some learning materials are also available in different Telegram channels, and people have been posting them free of cost. So of course you can access them at any point of time. That's the beauty of Telegram channel as well. So these are some of the engagement that you need to have these days in order to learn, in order to access, in order to get certification programs likewise, and of course free of cost. So offering some e-advising. So of course we had been doing it. We can continue doing it at certain point of time, even after the COVID era as well, because we may be having some international students, we may be having some exchange programs, faculty exchange programs, we may be doing some research work as a postdoctorate fellow, and we may be traveling to different parts of the world, collaborate with different researchers as well, where we can interact, where we can take some advice, where we can give some advice. And yesterday we had an interaction with a guy who, she wanted to work in a particular area which is related to me. Of course, we can sit for a discussion, we can sit for an audio or a video discussion, and we can exchange our ideas, we can collaborate at certain point of time if we feel that we are working at the same steps. Gamification, this is the this is another important aspect that is coming up, and you are mixing learning to be a fun activity. We call it edu intent. We combine entertainment with education. We call it edutainment, and gamification also is becoming a part. We have been taking the help of virtual reality and augmented reality, and mixing it up with some games, gaming activities, and this is how our digital learning or digital pedagogy will be very much effective in developing such aspects. So, first of all, what tools that we should use for in development of content? Mostly, we make use of. We are aware of PowerPoint presentations. We are not so aware of digital pen or something of that sort, stylus pen or something of that sort. So these things are being coming up recently, and where we can teach through. Apart from the PPT mode, we can also teach through some digital pen, some activities, some diagrams we can draw straight away. It's in the PowerPoint. We have a software called EduPen, which we have been using to deliver to our all offline students as well. We don't have a blackboard out here. We use a particular software on a TV screen, and we directly make use of it. Smartboard is already in place. So of course, how will you prepare your tools? Tools will require for your preparations? What are the different softwares that, say for example, I'm drawing a circuit, or I need to make a block diagram, I'll take the help of some software like Microsoft Visio, or I'll make use of eDraw software in order to draw a particular diagram. I can use also simply the Microsoft Word or the Microsoft PowerPoint in order to make. So what are the tools that we are going to use for, what are the interaction that we are going to have for interacting? We may operate through some video conferencing. We may have some audio conferencing. We can go through some Google Meet. We can understand what doubts the students are having, what uh, things that needs to be discussed. Accordingly you can make your preparation. So how do you want to interact? Because students, what recently we have found that students, what they do, they obviously chat through WhatsApp. They are more comfortable with that. If you provide some answers, they will be really happy, and so you have to interact with them as well in the mode they prefer to interact as well. Normally they do not put up a call to you in the evening time. They'll put a message, in a short message in a WhatsApp chat, and they will try to interact with them. Sometimes it is too difficult for us, that we are not also so tech savvy enough to answer their queries through WhatsApp chat. Say for example, I'll call back, I'll put a voice call, I'll say that I'll do it in the morning. You give me some time, or I'll ask him to come to my office and discuss with me what problems he is facing in that particular course or particular content. So this is how we go about it. So how do you interact? What are the tools that you require? Definitely, there are interesting aspects regarding that. Uh, Independent learning, because this is most important in digital mode, or in digital pedagogy, or in cybergogy that we have been discussing so far. The responsibility lies with the student. More responsible, the student should be more responsible, more dedicated to learning them independently, because he's sitting at a particular place, he's sitting at his own place, at his own pace he is learning, and of course at his own time. Say for example, you are delivering a lecture in the morning at 8 o'clock, he is attending in the evening, right? So of course, independent learning, with independent learning comes a lot of responsibility. Of course, you are learning several materials from the YouTube and all those stuffs that we have been using so far, for creating certain videos or posting certain videos. Of course, when you are learning them from certain videos, of course they are we are going for giving the responsibility to the student to learn independently. So he should see the video, pause them in between, repeat them, note down certain important concepts or points that are discussed in the video, re-watch it, and all those things will be going together. So of course, they will be learning completely independently. Assessment, of course, we had been discussing assessment, that we are to check the higher order thinking skills. That means starting from analyzing or evaluating or developing some creativity in the student. So of course, when we are quizzing a student, when we are putting some assignment to the students, or when we are checking some mid semester test where we are taking some end semester test for the students, of course, they are assessed through the mostly the higher order thinking skills, of course, beyond remembering the things, and of course beyond analyzing the things, beyond remembering and understanding the things. Rather than we should make our students learn how to analyze, how to create, how to evaluate. So mostly the higher order thinking skills in Bloom's taxonomy are being discussed already. So these are the things that we must check out for assessing now in the digital pedagogy. And what tools we should use for our students, what platforms we are using, whether we are using Zoom, whether we are using Google Meet, or whether we are using some other platforms for the students. Those are accessible and of course internet friendly. And students and teachers must have an internet connection, proper internet connection. So these are some of the things that we may come across, and that we may the students may face. And these are the tools, some of the tools that they should be participative, they should be engaging. We should engage the students in the discussion sessions. We should make that all students should Zoom has a very important thing, they call it breakout rooms. So we can put the students in the breakout room, engage them with some discussion, and come up with some brilliant ideas from the students. So delivering content, you should keep your small modular approach, or of course keep your content as less as possible. More or less, it will be an interaction in the virtual mode. And if you are typing anything, that should be clearly read, clearly seen. Your interactivity materials must be there. Some hyperlinks must be there. Of course, when we are watching a video or seeing a video, you should not be bored enough. So it should be a very small video, of course, of 10 to 15 minutes max to max. It will be not a boring lecture of 1 hour, of course. So we should keep our content in such a way that a particular concept is being discussed, and that particular concept is being analyzed by the students very quickly. And we have to post certain questions in between. We have to post certain some messages in between, so that they are easily understandable by the students, and there should be clear text. There should not be any spelling mistake in the slides or something of that sort. So definitely it should be very small modular approach with respect to the delivery of content. Interaction, how do you interact with your student, how do you get into how do you synchronize, what is the richness of your interaction, whether you are interacting through some videos, with some audios, with some text. These days I do think that students are more preferring the text part. They chat it in the Zoom platform, they use the chat platform, they use the chat window so frequently and so often. We had been facing in the last years, where the students were understanding or attending the classes online. So some questions must be put in between, so that the students are alert. Some case study must be put in between, so that they this provides a stimulus for them to learn, to ask, to get themselves engaged as well. And of course, there should be a clear expectation of the contribution, whether the time or the length or the style in which you are teaching. So interaction must be there. If you are not interacting, or if you are not engaging with your students, it becomes a boring affair after even 5 minutes or 10 minutes down the line. So it's better that you synchronize, you put some content in between, you pose certain questions in between, so that the students become alert. Students are engaged in that particular discussion. You give them some case studies in between. You give them some breathing space in between, so that they are able to learn. And it should not be a monologue. It should be both ways interaction, by virtue of which we can get through. Independent learning, of course. This particular digital platform or online teaching is all about learning independently through some personal learning blogs, through some benefits of monitoring the progress, option for the feedback by don't record, student record of learning definitely, and incentive to complete individual exercises. So if you give him a particular incentive for a certain point 0.5 marks margin to the persons who are submitting the assignments in time, of course there should be very much engagement on the part of the students. So these are some of the benefits of course, you can learn from anywhere. These days, you can learn from anywhere. Be from YouTube, be from blog, be from Wikipedia. So everything is online. So of course, you can. It is also challenging to put certain materials on a slide that has been copied from somewhere else. So students are well aware of. So how to assess, how to evaluate continuously, how to give them some leadership, how to do the classworks without exams, and how to take pre-submissions or feedbacks, how to all feedbacks must be provided electronically. We have a software called Turnitin to check the plagiarism of the assignments being submitted, and some continuous evaluations of each and every module of your course. Of course, 10 to 12% must be there, 10 to 20% must be there for your continuous assessment as well, through some quizzes, through some 1 minute quiz, through some term paper, through, and give them some badges so that they are motivated to learn, and they are able to provide or deliver well in your course. Student support, of course, your personal tutor sessions through some Skype. Of course, I've taken it from a very old system. These days, Skype is no longer existing these days. We do not hear the term of Skype, but still, this is available. Uh, but of course, with the use of Google Meet, with the use of a Zoom platform, with the use of WebEx platform, StreamYard, GoToWebinar, all those things have come up recently, and we have been using them quite frequently, and we are getting adaptive to each of the platforms as well. So, of course, some sessions must be there to encourage some your informal feedback as well, some office hours or beyond office hours as well. Guide your students in some activities, some support structure. AI tutor is of course there. E-advice is of course there for your inquiry, for the students' inquiry as well. So these are some of the things that we are heading to. So, of course, what is your fruitful learning and what is your remote learning? So, we have the e-tools, we have to engage in fruitful learning, and in new remote learning. Of course, we have to encourage them as well. So, this is how it goes about. So, that's why we are coining this particular term as cybergogy. Pedagogy and cyber systems are being involved. Just as I told you, I'll skip through these slides very quickly because it's already time that by virtue of which we can expect some questions from the different participants who have been waiting. GoToMeeting is another platform. Cisco WebEx meetings is another platform. Zoom and of course Google Meet have been very much on the top list of the online platforms as well. Facebook Live, as you are attending, YouTube Live, that as you have been attending some participants from the YouTube link as well. Content tools, what are the different softwares that we use to prepare your content, your digital content, some free cams, some ApoAsoft, OBS Studio. These are some of the tools that you may be using or you may use it as well. Of course, you can take the help of PowerPoint for your presenting, for making some animations, slides, and some diagrams you may do using some particular software or something of that sort. Learning management system, of course, we talked about this. There are several. Moodle we have been using, Moodle Cloud we have been using, Google Classroom we have been using. Blackboard, few institutes are using also as a platform for developing some interactive presentation tools. So these are some of the presentation tools that you may be using. WooClap is there, Slido is there, WebEx is there. So these type of things have been coming up with different platforms for presenting or showcasing your work or certification. Jamboard, Strongboard, these are some of the interactive whiteboards that we are using. Of course, we also have some software called EduPen as well. Some of the assessment tools, Kahoot is another assessment tool that people are using for their quizzes and all those stuff. And these are some of Flickr's, Desmos. These are some of the platforms. Of course, we have the LMS Learning Management Tool platform, of course, to take these quizzes as well. Some of the instructional approaches with the use of digital instructional approaches like flipped classroom, gamification, making it a fun activity. You may use some online lectures, some blended way of learning, personalized learning. So all these terms so far we had been hearing and delivering as well in different platforms. Thank you so much. With this I end my presentation. Over to you, IJP.
Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. Thank you.
Welcome,
Sir,
ma'am.
now we'll go for our quiz session. Then
Sure.
after completed our quiz session, we come back again in our question answer session.
Okay, fine.
Okay, sir?
Absolutely.
You have
Okay,
to wait
fine.
for some minutes.
Okay, fine.
Dear participant, now we'll go our question and quiz session. To join this session, you have to go slido.com. After that, you have to enter the code. The code is IGP. After short video, we will go our quiz competition. Let's enjoy the our quiz session. Dear participant, now we'll go our quiz session. To join this session, you have to go slido.com. After that, you have to enter the code. The code is IGP. 25 people already joined in our quiz session. We will pick your name from Slido. So join with your full name, which will directly print on certificate. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. Dear participant, we are still waiting for your joining. To join this session, you have to go slido.com. After that, you have to enter the code. The code is IGP. Dear participant, now we'll start our quiz competition. Our first question: what is digital pedagogy? First option: study of how to teach using digital technology. Second option: study of how to learn to use a computer. And the correct answer is option 1: study of how to teach using digital technology. Our second question: a digital protocol is first option: a large, thin, flat case for loose sheets of paper such as drawing or maps. Second option: digital evidence managed by the teachers, usually on the web. And the correct answer is digital evidence managed by the teachers, usually on the web. Andragogy and pedagogy are synonyms. First option true, second option false. And the correct answer is false. Question number 4. Pedagogy starts in ancient Rome. First option true, second option false. And the correct answer is false. Which of the following is not an ACT pedagogy? First option conversation, second option collaborative. Pedagogy allows the learner to find his own way. First option true, second option false. The correct answer is false. Joan Amos Sconius is the father of pedagogy. First option true, second option false. The correct answer is true. Eight now question. The goal of Sunnyside USD Digital Leader Corporation is to first option increase test scores, second option increase student engagement, and the correct option is increase student engagement. Question number 9. Two methods of pedagogy when coaching in sports. First option traditional, second option linear. And the correct answer is linear. Sorry, correct answer is traditional. Our last question. The specific features, advantages, or abilities of a specific digital tool are known as first option affordances, second option theoretical perspectives, and the correct answer is option 1 affordances. Uh, Congratulations, Joel Barner, sir. He is a first ranker. Congratulations, top 10 quiz competition winner. Today quiz competition winners, we have all of your name which you entered during joining. We will pick your name and prepare certificate. We post them on our Facebook official page. Our Facebook official page is Institution of Global Professional. Now we'll go our question answer session. If you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Let's enjoy our question answer session. Welcome back, sir, in our question answer session. Sir, now participate ask question. You have to answer them.
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to.
Dear participant, if you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Sir, our first question. Good afternoon, sir. What are the disadvantages of using digital media in teaching and learning?
So far, we had been encouraging digital teaching, and of course, there are some loopholes, of course, in digital way of teaching and learning, especially with respect to the assessments or with respect to the assignments, with respect to the quizzes. There are a lot of chances that if you are not taking appropriate precautions in framing the questions, or if you have picked up any questions from the internet materials, of course your students will be copy pasting those questions on the Google, and they get their answers, and immediately they will get secure very high marks. We had already seen those happening at certain point of time with some of the teachers in our institute as well. So, of course, the average of the quiz goes very high. And of course, if you are able to check and balance all the precautions, if you take, if the students are not going back to the same question once again, so of course, there are some precautions available by virtue of which you cannot navigate through the questions, and those are available with each of the LMS platforms that you are using. Of course, if the questions are taken from the internet materials or taken from some ebook directly, of course, there are loopholes in the digital way of teaching and learning. People will secure greater marks and will learn nothing from the subject. Over to you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Uh, Sir, our second question. Good afternoon, sir. Why do we use the inverted classroom model? What are its learning
Okay.
benefits?
Okay. Okay. The inverted classroom model will benefit you in the way you learn. That you may be learning at your own pace. You may be sitting at your comfort zone, and you may be. It shows also some independent learning skills as well, because since you are learning it from the video, may not be a live video, you may see or watch from a video and get engaged with your teacher through some real engagement with the teachers in different ways, by virtue of which through web conferencing, through audio conferencing, through some video chat or audio chat as well. So definitely, advantages are plenty in digital mode. The advantages are plenty. It is flexible learning. You learn at your own pace. You learn at your own time, and you learn at your own place as well. So somewhere you are sitting at some part of the world, and you are accessing any internet material, any lecture video, any online materials that are available on a particular topic. So of course, benefits are plenty. That's all from my side, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Sir, our third question. Andragogy and pedagogy are all methods of teaching. Why not synonyms? Synonyms.
I don't understand this word andragogy, because it is pretty. I'm not familiar with this particular topology that you are using. Anyways, we were focusing on the pedagogical aspects, and in the online mode, which we are calling as digital pedagogy. And of course, we are making use of the digital pedagogy as a way of learning the things in the online platforms. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Dear participant, we are still waiting for your question. If you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Sir, there is no more question.
Okay, okay.
Thank,
I just
thank.
googled it in between. That's why I thought that I should share. Of course, andragogy is what we have been coming across, that teaching any adult learner. Say, for example, we are already in the process of teaching for the last 10 or 15 years, and of course, which we are learning it not as a student, we are learning it as a matured student, right? So of course, we will be reluctant to learn, and so of course, the more effort will be there on the part of the teacher to make us understand some new concepts, because of course we have learned so many things. Our already our brain is cramped with all those stuff. So of course, teaching something new, teaching something interesting will be fruitful for us. So that is why we can call it that andragogy and pedagogy are pretty similar, but the method of teaching will be slightly different when you are teaching it for a matured student.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. I hope everyone can learn from your presentation. Any last word for our participant?
Last word is that I'd like to say that digital pedagogy, or we'll be coming up with some presentations in post-COVID times. How will our higher education, whether it has suffered or not, that we'll be discussing shortly. So you can attend that particular lecture as well to get a more feel of the digital pedagogy or the cybergogical skills that we are focusing on. We cannot take back now, we cannot go back now to the offline mode. Of course, we have gone for the offline mode of teaching, but online way of learning cannot be stopped now, and it will be a part of our new generation to get adapted to the online mode of teaching. That's why I thought that it will be a pretty relevant topic for every one of us to know the pedagogical skills associated with online learning platform. That's all from my side, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your your valuable knowledge. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. Uh, Dear participant, now we will give you our webinar code. Our today program name is Pedagogy. Our code is IGP 6767. Our code is IGP 6767. Dear participant, our webinar code is IGP 6767. Thank you so much everyone for your active participation. I hope everyone can learn from our webinar. Thank you everyone.